Hey, what's going on, Los Angeles? Welcome to the Rams Skinny here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports, and this is your destination for daily Los Angeles Rams news. If you have not already, please hit that like and subscribe button. We are the Rams LAFB YouTube channel, or you can always find all of our content at LAFBnetwork.com. Fun one today. It's not necessarily Rams news, but we're going to talk a little different. It's the offseason, not a lot going on right now. So we're talking the face of LA sports. Who is the face of LA sports in terms of all the legends that reside here in Los Angeles? But first and foremost, speaking of a legend, Ryan Skinny T. Anderson, what's up, my man? How we doing?
I'm doing good. I'd love to be an LA legend.
You are. You are an LA legend.
Yeah, maybe. Legend in my own household, that's for sure.
There you go. Yeah, one of two. Well done. Or three if you count Frankie the dog.
Yeah, Frankie's the real winner there.
Yeah, there you go. So LA Legends, Skinny T, and we're talking current player, or not LA Legends, face of LA sports. And we're talking obviously current players. It's a bigger debate if you go through the annals of time, and you got to add Kobe and Fernando Valenzuela and even Wayne Gretzky, who obviously graced LA with his presence for a couple of years. We're not doing that. We're talking just current players in the current teams. Here at LAFB Network, we put out a post out on social. It's got a lot of traffic, tons of comments, which is amazing to see. Love to see the engagement. And on the graphic, we did not make it. Someone else on our team made it. But the players included, I'll just list them, and I'll put the graphic over the screen maybe as well. Or you know what? I can do this. StreamYard gives me the ability to share my screen. Why don't I do that?
Love that, StreamYard.
That way the good people can see who we're talking about here. So let's go present here, share screen. Here we go. All right. You see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So listed here of the Rams, Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford. From the Lakers, LeBron James, Luka Doncic. From the Dodgers, the Shohei Ohtani, who just made his pitching debut for the Dodgers just recently, and Mookie Betts. And then Kawhi Leonard of the Clippers. I know a lot of LA fans will not like that, but, he is a superstar and plays within the city. And one Justin Herbert from the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, like I said, I did not make this graphic. I would have included a Kings player in here. I think Anze Kopitar deserves to be in here, but that'll be our debate anyway. So, Skinny, first off, before we talk about who is the face of LA, what do you think of this list that our team created? Any omissions?
Yeah, the hockey one is a little bit glaring, I have to say. But other than that, I mean, you could talk some Sparks maybe.
Yeah.
Some real football, some soccer players, maybe some LAFC or Galaxy players.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't really pay attention to that because it's, I'm a four top American sports: baseball, football, hockey, basketball. That's just where I live, really.
Mm-hmm.
But you start to think about the criteria of what you want to look for in the face of a whole city. And, one of the first ones that comes to mind almost negates the whole list, which is all of these are transplants. All these people were drafted and brought in originally by other teams.
Yeah, except for Herbert.
Well, and Puka as well.
And Puka, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You said almost all of them. Yeah, sorry.
Almost all of them, yeah. And then, but you think about LA itself, we're a transplant city.
Yeah.
I lived in San Francisco, Nebraska, and Minnesota before that. You're from Denver. So, like people come here, they adopt, they catch up. But I mean, these are some of the biggest names in sports, period. So, yeah. I mean, and LA is one of the biggest cities, period. So, I mean, I think you gotta, what becomes challenging is, can one face represent the whole thing, the whole city?
That is the big question. And, I think to your point, there's something to be said about being homegrown And I think that's what made like Kobe so, obviously he wasn't like born in LA, but he was drafted by the Lakers or traded during the draft by the Lakers and spent his entire career with the Lakers. Whereas, you have LeBron, who's been all over the league. You have Luka, who obviously just joined the team. You had even Shohei, who started his career with the Angels. So, I mean, he actually probably is the most LA on his list because he's actually only played in LA. It just happened to be for the Angels first. But I agree. Like, I think in this city, unlike others, because it is such a transplant city and what goes on here, you can adapt very quickly to guys moving in. So, I can't wait. This is for another topic. Obviously, we didn't include any college players because that's so, it's only 2 to 3 years those guys play for their teams, but I would love it. We've talked last year about like, oh man, could the Rams actually get like a Caleb Williams or something? Depending how long Stafford plays, depending if the Rams end up doing kind of like a Band-Aid at quarterback, like it seems like they might actually do. Like I would love to see in 2, 3, 4 years, whenever he's ready, Hassan Longstreet, who is the true freshman for the Trojans right now. He's not going to play this year, most likely. Jaden Mayava will, but he is truly LA. Like he played at Centennial High School in Corona. Now he's at USC. Like if he reaches his ceiling and then somehow the Rams drafted him to be like Stafford's true successor in like 3 or 4 years, like that is someone who would become the true face of LA because it's like literally born and raised in LA like that. How cool would that be? But that's like years down the line.
No, that's a great answer right there. I mean, is there anybody on here that you would just immediately strike off? Like, nope, doesn't meet the criteria.
I mean, no disrespect, but Kawhi, not because he's not a great player, but he's, I think the Clippers have a bigger fan base. Obviously, I'm sure that some of the listeners here are Clippers fans. Obviously, they're nowhere near the recognition of the Lakers. And so for that, basically just that reason, like it's hard to be the face when you're like the little brother of the other team. And so that kind of takes off Kawhi. You could argue that might take off Herbert too. But yeah, it's just, it's kind of like and the Mets, I think, are a much bigger national brand, but like, could a Mets player ever be truly the face of New York when they're the Yankees? Like Aaron Judge will always usurp probably Pete Alonso and whoever's on the Mets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. For similar reasons, I'm taking Luka right off. Well, not similar reasons, completely different reason, I guess, but he's been here for like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Hasn't won anything. I'm taking Luka off. I'm taking Kawhi off. I'm fine with that one.
Luka, just before we move on, Luka has the best shot to become the face for sure. Like in 2-3 years, like theoretically, he should be the face soon. Like when they get that extension done and whatnot and build around him.
I'm taking Mookie off as well.
Okay.
Because I think most of his prime was as a Boston Red Sox.
That's fair.
Red Sox. You can't say Red Sox. Boston Red Sox. So I'm eliminating him. Any? You don't have any problem with that?
No qualms with that. Love Mookie. He's a fan favorite. I think he's not on this list, but Mookie and Freddie Freeman are kind of equal parts in terms of like, I think they're both beloved. They're obviously both superstars still. But I don't think they're the face of the city. They're not the face of their teams anymore because of one who we're probably going to talk about here soon, but obviously great and beloved.
Yeah. So I think those are my first 4 that I'm taking right off. Now, the 2 that have potential, I'm taking. I'll just caveat with this: I'm taking Herbert off because he hasn't won anything yet.
Yeah,
but between he and Puka hasn't won anything either.
Yeah,
probably similar win-loss records. But I'll say this: the football fan base in LA could propel one of these 2, Puka or Herbert, into that position, because I think they both have. Puka's got a fantastic personality. He's bubbly. He's kind of silly, and he's phenomenal. And the Rams are going to win some games for sure. Herbert, golden boy. He's got everything. He's, maybe not an LA vibe. He's probably hanging out maybe more in the rural areas, casting his line out for some fish or something like that. But, meets some criteria just in terms of the aesthetic, the quarterback. He's the golden boy. If the Chargers could ever Get a coach, a quarterback, a defense, enough, whatever the alchemy is there to win something important. And
let me ask you two similar questions about separate players. So regarding Herbert, because I agree with everything, you know, he, as just a player and quarterback, has the best shot to be the face of the city. The question is, will and can a Chargers player ever be the face of LA?
I think he can.
No disrespect. You think they can?
So I know a bunch of people that have kids, and the kids are excited about the Chargers.
Yeah.
Now, LA, it's a coin toss. I know they came from San Diego. They were the LA Chargers for 1 year when they first were established, and the Rams should be the logical, big brother to the little brother. But I think, 20 years without football in LA leveled the playing field. I think it's up for grabs right now. I think, the Chargers have done a great job with, the uniform rollouts and all their social media stuff, all their PR stuff. They do a fantastic job with that. Whereas maybe the Rams have disappointed in just kind of making things look good. On the other hand, they've been 2 Super Bowls in the time since they've been back in LA. So, but I think the Chargers and the Rams are on an absolute level playing field. I think the Rams fan base is a bit bigger right now, but as the future unfolds, I think it's up for grabs. Yeah. That's where I'll leave it. I'm not gonna attempt to guess.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, there's part of me that just like, and this is no shade of the Chargers. Obviously, this is a Rams show, but we cover both teams. Like, but there's part of me just thinks they'll always kind of be the little brother. They'll always kind of be the not as vast of a chasm, but they'll always kind of be the Clippers to the Lakers kind of thing. But there's the other side of me that totally agrees with you 100%. Like, they've done a great job with the young fan base. These younger LA Angelinos, there's a lot of young Charger fans. Their kids, not saying there's not a lot of Rams fans either, but they've done really good especially within Orange County and kind of the South Bay area where their headquarters in El Segundo, of attracting that younger fan base. Obviously, as you mentioned, the social media, which is huge now in sports, and they have the best social team in all of sports, not just football. What I don't like that they've done, we've talked about this before, and it's a really tough strategy to choose what to do if you are the Chargers, because I get where they're coming from, but they have decided to kind of try to rekindle the relationship with San Diego. And I think there's a part of that that's genius, because they figure, okay, this is what I think they're thinking. They think we're never going to be LA's top team. Like, I think they've accepted that. Like, yeah, we'll always have a good market. We've built this younger fan base, but we're never going to be, even if we like stay on par with the Rams, or not stay on par, but like stay close to the Rams, we're still never going to be close to the Lakers, to the Dodgers, to even the Kings. Like, we just won't. So the Chargers, the San Diego fan base, who obviously hated that we left, a lot of years have gone by. Like, if we can rekindle that, that's an empty market that we can tap into. And so they've obviously decided to host training camps down there. Like I've talked about before, at Padres game, they have Chargers players throw out first pitches. So I get it from that perspective. But by doing that, they are 1,000% saying we will never be LA's team, because no Angelino is ever going to side with a team that's also tied to San Diego. Like, there's just no, especially when you're tying yourself to the Padres, who have now become a true kind of somewhat rival with the Dodgers. Like, it just, now they have basically alienated themselves and saying, we'll have a fraction of LA, but we'll never be LA's team. So for that reason, I lean more that as much as Herbert should be the face of LA, just because of the talent that he is, because he was drafted by the team, he's been in LA the whole time, just because he's with the Chargers, I just don't think it can ever happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're talking about two guys here that aren't currently, probably, I wouldn't say.
So here's my second question for you. Unless you have a comment on that, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to transition to the 3 remaining that are in contention, I would say.
Okay, so this will lean into that, I guess. So here's my second question. In this regards, Puka Nacua. I love everything about Puka Nacua. I think he's great player, obviously young, drafted by the Rams, has the charisma, has the personality. Can a non-quarterback, because I think a Rams player has a great shot to eventually be the face of LA, but can a non-quarterback ever be the face of the city? Because even Aaron Donald, as great as he was, and obviously he came from St. Louis, the Rams were still building. No one would ever say Aaron Donald was like the face of LA. You could argue he was the greatest player at LA, but even during his time, I don't think he was ever the face of Los Angeles sports. He was the face of the Rams for sure. So do you think a non-QB can ever be the face of a city?
I'm going through in my head right now, like the best football athletes in different markets. Is Justin Jefferson in Minnesota the face of Minnesota sports?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
They're also like, again, not to cut you off, but when you look at certain markets too, like they have such an upper leg with their NFL team. Like Minnesota, as much of a fan base, the Wild, the Twins, the Timberwolves have, like that is a Vikings town. Like you go to Denver, that is a Broncos town. Like Von Miller was the face back after Peyton Manning retired. Like clear, no questions asked.
And we're in a
LA
baseball
still.
town.
The Rams are not like the face of LA sports yet.
You would say that LA is a baseball town. What?
Yeah, baseball or basketball, whichever way you want to argue. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably just comparing the two fan bases, baseball. But I digress. So, you go around, Dallas is a football place. San Francisco is Christian McCaffrey. This is really stretching my brain.
I argue Nick Bosa more so for the Niners, I guess, if you're going non-QB.
Yeah. You think about maybe comparing the closest thing is to compare Chicago, New York, and LA. These three markets are the most similar. Chicago has never had a quarterback.
Yeah.
Walter Payton was probably the face of sports for a long time there. There must have been a Cub, when they won the World Series, that was the face of the sport.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what makes it tough is because LA was without football for so long. Like even those markets still, like Chicago's a Bears town, right? Like New York is closer because it's probably more Yankees, maybe Knicks, even more so than Giants or Jets. So that's probably the most comparable.
New York's such a baseball town.
Yeah, New York's a huge baseball town. And obviously the Knicks being the only basketball team. I mean, even the Rangers are huge, and Rangers are massive. So anyway, I guess, do you think Puka could be the face?
Depending on what happens after this big Dodgers cluster of greatness.
Yeah.
And what happens in post LeBron too.
Yeah.
So I think so. I think, if he continues staying healthy, putting up big numbers, makes the transition from Stafford to whatever quarterback is next, I absolutely think so.
Okay.
But Herbert's got the leg up 100%. Herbert can slide into that so much more easily, in my opinion.
Okay. So with that being said, is Puka the face right now, or no? You're going Braun or Shohei?
I think he could be, just because they haven't won anything with him yet. He's 2 years in.
Yeah. So are you taking him off though, and we're going to LeBron and Shohei?
I'm going down to LeBron, Shohei, Matthew Stafford.
Oh yeah, I forgot we still have Stafford on there. Yeah. All right. Who are you removing next of those three?
Unfortunately, it's Stafford.
Yeah.
Yeah. He brought the championship, check mark there.
Yep.
But he was just in Detroit for so long.
Yeah.
And just the nature of the beast, basketball and baseball being bigger. And I think LeBron and Shohei are two of the premier athletic talents in the world, period, hands down. What LeBron has done, what Shohei is doing, I think, it's just greater than what Stafford has accomplished in his career. They're shoo-in Hall of Famers. Stafford's, in my opinion, should be in, but borderline.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that, yeah, he's the next to go. I think if the accomplishments that Stafford had done in LA were done by Jared Goff, who was drafted by the Rams in their move back, brought a Super Bowl to LA during the transition process, he would be much closer in line with LeBron and Shohei. And that's no shade at Stafford, but I mean, he's been here, 3 years, going into his 5th year. So, and just, yeah, like you said, being with Detroit for 13 seasons or whatever, he's a staple in LA. LA loves him. So it's not saying anything Stafford. He just, especially close to retirement. I don't think he's the face right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know who I'm going for.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just because I watched him, pitch 9 pitches last night, but hey, Ohtani,
yeah,
we're watching history. You can have a LeBron, Michael Jordan conversation, and I'm happy going either way on that one. I don't really have a dog in that fight specifically. I'm more of a Jordan guy myself, but
yeah,
I would listen to an argument. There's nobody you're talking me into having an argument about greatest baseball player still in his peak, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, it's Shohei is the face of Los Angeles sports. No question. I actually would have removed, if it was me personally, I would have removed LeBron a little while ago before other players, but I was trying to base it off like the city of LA, and obviously the Lakers are just so massive. So I think just by default of him being on the Lakers and still being a star, but I don't think the LA fan base ever truly got behind LeBron like they did the other Laker greats. Like they did, obviously, Kobe and Shaq and some of the other players, even Pau Gasol, you could say. I think LeBron, there's like this really mixed feeling with him because obviously he went to Cleveland, went to Miami, won with Miami, went back to Cleveland, won with Cleveland, and then kind of worked his way over here. Regardless of how good he is, regardless of how much he's done for the city of LA, I have nothing against LeBron, but I don't think the fan base ever truly have like fully gotten behind LeBron. And I think the expectations have always been too high. And obviously just the one championship that came in the bubble and didn't even get to do the parade. So yeah, I don't think the fan base ever truly got behind him. Whereas Shohei, it's been a year and a half. His first year brought a World Series title. Broke like the only player ever in the 50-50 club and did it in a Dodgers uniform. And now just recently made his first pitching debut. And yeah, gave up a run and some hits, but guess what? Threw for 100 miles per hour, 99, 99, 98. Like the velocity was unreal. I mean, the guy's a unicorn. And he plays for the Dodgers. And to make it work for the Dodgers, he deferred all that money, which, whatever you want to debate about if that's ethically correct by the league or not. But he obviously knew it was great for the team and he'd get taken care of down the line and he makes so much other money. Like Shohei is the face of Los Angeles sports and will be for the next decade.
Yeah. And I mean, I think a part of LeBron was, not reaching that height was everything seemed so calculated for him, to like come into LA and think you can just, rise to that level just because you're LeBron James. Yeah. We've had Wilt, we've had Kareem,
Magic,
Kobe, Magic. Yeah, I mean, he's not even on the Rushmore of Los Angeles Laker players, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of the big, like, we're not even, I think we will self-admit we're not the biggest NBA fans, but like, where would LA Laker fans put LeBron just among Lakers? And I'm not saying like statistically, but just like in terms of the fan base. Like, you're not putting him above, obviously not Kobe. I would say definitely not Magic, not Kareem.
No.
Not Wilt. Probably not Shaq. Maybe not Powell.
Jerry West.
I mean, you go down the list. Like, where did people actually put him? Which is, it sounds disrespectful, but that's just how great the Lakers have been in LA over their history. Yeah. And so anyway, I'm not trying to throw shade at LeBron, but yeah, to me, it's Shohei, no doubt. Luka has the next best shot to take over as face. I think Puka has a chance. I agree with you. But to me, whoever the Rams eventually draft at quarterback, that player will have the best shot at being the representative of a football team for the face of LA.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting to talk about Joe Burrow forcing a trade out of Cincinnati coming to LA. It's going to be beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. And then it's like, well, can he be the face being traded?
I mean, he's still in his prime.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's different. He's only been in the league for whatever. It's been 5 years. So,
yeah.
All right. Anything else left to add?
No. Watch some baseball, people.
There you go. There you go. So, well, thank you as always for tuning in. This is the Rams. A little different today, but hey, kind of talk just LA sports sometimes. What do you guys think? Who is the face of LA? Does a Rams player have a viable shot of being the face of LA in the near future? Drop some comments below. This is the Rams LAFB YouTube channel. You can find us on LAFBnetwork.com or LAFB Network on all of our social channels. That's Skinny T. I'm Ryan Dyer. This is Rams Talk on the Rams Skinny. Talk to you guys.